Hello people, this is Mark from Carriage Change Works, and today I just want to talk to you very quickly on part 3 of dealing with frustration. And this particular video I'm going to be dealing specifically with regards to dealing with frustration from interpersonal relationships. You know, those frustrations that you get with your friends, your life partners, your parents, your children, and so on and so forth. These interpersonal relationships that we're all involved in, sometimes they become very frustrating. And it's very easy for us to demonstrate our frustrations. So in this little video, guys, I just want to offer you a couple of ideas, a couple of tips and suggestions on what we can do to avoid making mistakes in these relationships. So let's go for a walk and let's talk about this. It is really sunny and warm in England today, and I'm in a local park just trying to relax and chill whilst making this video, and hopefully you will find it beneficial. If it does, please like and subscribe and hit the bell, make some comments. If there's some other topics and subjects that you want us to talk about, please put them in the comments. Or you can email us on the email provided in the About section on this particular channel. So, introductions over. This is going to be a really helpful video, I do believe. So here we go. Interpersonal relationships, they are really important because we all need them. We're all involved in an interpersonal relationship at some level. And you know as well as I do that when we are in relationships, sometimes anger, frustrations, disappointment, these kind of negative feelings do crop up from time to time. Now, I'm not bothered so much about those, but anger is the one I want to sort of kind of highlight a little bit here. Guys, when you are angry or maybe even frustrated, the very best thing that you can do is avoid decision making. When your emotions are up and down based on circumstances, things being outside of your control, avoid making decisions. The reasons for it is very simple. Emotions are very fragile, they're very fluid, they bounce here and they bounce there, they're not stable. So when you're making a decision based on or when you are angry, shall I say, you're going to make a mistake. So best thing you can do there is just walk away for a few minutes, but be respectful of the person that you're trying to engage with, and say something down the lines of, listen, whatever your name is, I am really angry at the minute, I'm very frustrated, I'm very upset. I need to take some time out just to calm down and clear my head, so I can then continue this conversation and we can then make decisions once I'm a little bit more stable, emotionally speaking, on the basis of anger, frustrations, upsetness, and so on and so forth. Reason being, if you make a decision while you're angry, equally the same. When you're making decisions when you are extremely happy, it's the same thing, because you're up and down and you're emotionally led. And sometimes in making decisions on the basis of emotions, there are periods where that is a good thing, but generally speaking, not such a good thing. So make decisions based on logic, maybe, or facts rather than emotions. Good tip. In these interpersonal relationships, guys, it is easy to get sucked in to deal with 3 or 4 or 5 issues, topics, discussion points, and it's very easy to get confused and lose your train of thought. So my advice here is deal with one issue at a time. See it from start to finish, see it complete, see it boxed off, ticked off, do whatever. Finish that one before moving on to the next one, because confusion creeps in, and then that can kind of add to your frustrations, because nothing seems to finish off. There's nothing that comes to a conclusion, there's no outcome. But if you decide to discuss topic A and you finish topic A and it's all complete, then you can move on to topic 2 and so on and so forth. So avoid the idea of bringing in 3 or 4 topics at a time, or even 2 topics. One at a time is best, because then you can see what progress you are making. When we're angry, when we're frustrated, my personal experience is you find the urge, you have this unnatural need to speak and be heard, because what you have to say is really important and it's urgent and it's necessary. But you're not going to get a very good outcome, not a beneficial outcome, because the other person in the equation also feels exactly the same. They too want to be heard, they too want to have their say, they too want to be understood, they too want to make their points clear, and so on. So the best thing is to do is to you say your say and let them say their say. Give them respect, and when they don't give you the respect, it's maybe a topic to discuss, to say, listen, let's talk and listen to what each other has to say. That way you can get to a point of solution a lot quicker. But listen also, and ask the other person to listen. And understanding is also really, really key. When the other person is speaking and it's a bit confusing and you're not sure whether you understand, say what you understand in your own words. If it's correct, the other person will say so. If it's not, they will correct you. This will really help when it comes down to being able to clarify things. But this is something that will probably be discussed when we do a little series on communication skills and listening skills, where when you're just going on the assumption that you understand and you presume that the other person understands, chances are you're at risk of miscommunicating, misunderstanding, and then that also then becomes a frustrating point to resolve. It might be better to take smaller chunks, but clarify as you go along. Make sure that what you're saying is understood, and make sure that you understand what other people are saying. Like all things in all relationships, being honest and compassionate is crucial. Being compassionate is not about necessarily feeling sorry or feeling empathetic, but by compassionate here I simply mean give the other person respect, give yourself respect, honor yourselves, honor them. That way the compassion element in you grows. The other person will also have far more respect for you, I am pretty sure, because that's how people work. See, being compassionate is not about being soft. Actually, it's the tough, strong people who have the ability to show and demonstrate compassion and respect and love and care. All these sissy style words that people so often say, no. You're strong when you can demonstrate these things, and compassion and honesty is part of that little cluster of words and actions that we can do. It is easy to become passive aggressive. I'll talk about that in another video, but for now, avoid being passively aggressive. It is a disaster as soon as you're angry and frustrated to fall into that pit and start mulling around in it and playing in that park. It leads to disasters. Guys, avoid it at all costs. I will discuss passive aggressive behavior at a later point in time. Kind of what links in with that is this whole idea about sarcasm and inappropriate humor and being flippant. Man, that doesn't work. Not when you're trying to resolve issues. Being honest and truthful and transparent, that works. All this other stuff, let it go. It's better for another time, but not in the process when you're frustrated or angry. That is just petrol to a huge fire. avoid it at all costs if you possibly can. When there's a solution that is needed, maybe a bit of teamwork with the other person is part of the process that you can engage in to try and find out what the solution is when you are discussing a particular problem and wanting to find a solution. And that little exercise could prove useful, because the other person can then put down what they're thinking, what they're feeling, and the reasons for that, and so can you. That may be a good topic of discussion to eliminate confusions and therefore make progress. Okay? Absolutes. How tempting and how easy it is to say, you never do this, you always do this. These absolutes, they're not true. Sometimes we just use them as a bullying tool or a tool to manipulate. Avoid it, be honest. 8 out of 10 times you do this, 6 out of 10 times you don't do this. Giving these factual bits of information is better than using absolutes. Because as soon as you do this, it's tempting to then compare A with B when A is completely unique and individual. So avoid absolutes as much as you possibly can. And then the final point that I want to bring is simply this. When you're discussing these things with the person in the other side of this relationship, when he or she, when they start making efforts to try and resolve the matter with you, show appreciation. It doesn't matter how much or how little they move from their point of view. It doesn't matter how they engage with you, but when you spot and identify little areas where they are making efforts to understand, and understanding is a big thing, we will talk about that in another video as well, but when they are showing effort to work with you to a point of resolution, show appreciation, even if it is a simple, basic, congruent thank you. Likewise, when you yourself are making efforts to work with the other person, and you can see when you are struggling and you can see that you are making efforts too. Now, it's easy to be biased in all of this, but when you are working and they say thank you to you, accept the thanks, because this is a good way of one hand washing the other hand and both hands are kept clean, where both need to work to try and bring an end to the frustrations, the issues that are causing relationships to become a little bit frustrated or frustrating, where negative emotions are expressed just because there's an unresolved issue. Guys, that's it for today. What I want to do is I'm going to make some more videos on loads of different topics. Myself and Lara, we are working together as a team, albeit that we live in the opposite sides of the world at this point in time. However, joint forces, we are working towards helping people become mentally fit, mentally strong, and moving from a place of hurt, whatever hurt means for you, to a place of healing, whatever healing means for you. Our whole idea is to help people get better, free from the prisons of your mind, emotionally and psychologically speaking. So if you found this video to be helpful, like I said before, please like and subscribe. There's loads more to come. Leave a comment in the comments box, as well as, of course, and hit that notification bell so that you will be notified as and when we upload new videos of similar content and advice. Guys, I wish you well in dealing with this very, very complicated issue called frustration. I wish you well. Thank you for your time.